Hi, my name is Arylias Nova. I was actually born in Corpus Christi, Texas, and my parents actually ended up splitting, so my dad still stayed in Texas, and I was raised in Charleston, South Carolina. I actually, when my daughter was born, I was staying up really late at night because of a newborn, and I kept playing all these different stories that I had in my head, and I just kept expanding, and then I couldn't sleep because I had this huge story in my head, and then I finally wrote it down on paper, and it did well. I think my favorite part is when I come to like a big twist. Like those are always just like, they're my favorite because there's all this anticipation up to it. So like when I'm plotting it out, I really like the plotting part because then it's like my evil little plan to. I actually started doing panels because when I started writing, I had to do all this research for information and spent hours and hours and hours just wasting time. I didn't, you would try to ask some authors and they wouldn't really tell you anything. So I wanted to start doing panels to actually help share the information that I've learned over time. I get really I'm an introvert anyways, but when somebody says that, I get really nervous and I'm like, thanks. Like, I do my T-Rex arms. Those are my nervous arms. This Perfect Day by Ira Levin. My dad got me turned on to it. It's more like a modern, well, in the time period, modern sci-fi. That and Death Be Not Proud by John Gunther. The first one because my dad gave it to me, and there's like this weird limerick that they say throughout the book, and I don't know, it just kind of stuck. Death Be Not Proud because it's a story about like it's a nonfiction book, and it's just, the story was just really powerful. I would love to become more of a scriptwriter. Like I love writing novels and everything, and like my dream job would just being able to do like both. Just whatever. Yeah, I love writing on different genres, so I think screenwriting for all different genres would be really cool. As nice and fun person. Is that like a good answer?
Sure, it's your answer. That's always a good answer.
Finish writing, finish it, because a lot of people get stuck on not finishing it, and be good friends with your editors. Find a good editor that matched and stick with them. Write and finish it and write. Yeah, just constantly writing and just find little things that spark your imagination all the time and just go with it. Sometimes I don't do it very well. I've found that if I kind of I'm not a very organized person, but if I kind of like make a semi-schedule, so and I homeschool my kids, so like, well, I'll set them up on like a project, and then I'll at least like handwrite and make little notes so that it's constantly there, and I can go back to it when it's bedtime and type it up. We have 2 cats, 3 dogs, 3 bearded dragons. We used to have a hedgehog, but the little ones and a hedgehog did not mix. Yeah. Oh yeah, ever since I was little. So Nerds of the Apocalypse is a group of us, nerds, and we get together and we do a lot of gaming, like video gaming and stuff like that, and streaming, and we just kind of build up the nerd community to be more, inclusive and have fun and get-togethers, especially at conventions and stuff. I have a book called The Hide Behinds that's coming out. It should be out the end of 2020. And then I have a collaboration project I'm working on called Progeny. Okay. So that one I'm excited too, because it's my first collaboration. It was either Irma or Matthew. when the hurricane was coming through Charleston, we had lost power, and at that time my kids were 2 and 4, and I thought, well, if a zombie, this is the worst case scenario. If zombies appeared, what would I do as a parent with young kids, because everybody skips to like teenagers or self-sufficient people. So I wanted to do it where I had small kids and dealing with a lot of like the parenting humor that goes with that, because it's like you can't argue over an apple if it's turning brown. There's only one apple. Just having kids, myself, and like again thinking of like different scenarios that parents go through and everything, that I would want someone to try and help and do that for me if I was ever in that situation. So I wanted to give back to kids. I have a big soft spot for kids. I think with like stuff like when I write like sci-fi and stuff like that, the way that I write it is a little bit different, because when I write horror, I can just start from the beginning and I can go straight through it, and that's just how my brain works, I think, too. I'll compartmentalize things, and then when I go to sci-fi, I'll tend to skip around more, to like, oh, I want to get this chapter done and this chapter, and then I'll go back and kind of fill in more. I don't know why, but yeah. It was weird. It was, yeah, because it was like, it was good weird. It was good weird. Yeah, no. It's terrible. No, and doing that, I appreciated more why books and movies are so vastly different, because when you have a book, you're building that world, like it's your immersion into that world, whereas with movies you have to show it. This is it. It's a solid, like there's no changing it. This is it. So, that was like the weird part of it, but it was really cool to see that. They're at 56publishing.com, FIVE6publishing.com, and then on Amazon.
Okay. We'll put links for you in the description.
Thanks.